Today's Hollywood's go-to guy for health and fitness. It's Fitness Confidential with celebrity fitness trainer Vinnie Tortorich.
Your good intentions have been stolen, and I'm here to help you get them back. I am Vinnie Tortorich, and folks, here we are again on the Saturday show. That's when I go one-on-one with a listener. And you know, this listener, she's driving along in a car, which is good because very soon I will be starting a show on KABC out here in Los Angeles. It's going to come on Sundays. It's a 1-hour call-in talk show, just like the good old days when people will be calling in, generally from their cars, usually probably up on a grapevine or somewhere on the 405, coming back from a long weekend at the beach on the 101, that kind of thing. So this call will be good practice for me to do that. We have on the phone Christie STELLE. How are you doing, Christie?
I'm doing great, Vinnie. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Now, how long have you been doing NSNG? Did you just find this? Have you been doing this for a while? Tell me a little bit about you.
I just found you. I heard you on Mark in the Morning a while back with Gina Grad. And I kind of really didn't think anything of it. And then, I followed her progress here and there and found that she was losing weight. So I thought, okay, I'm going to look this guy up and see what he's all about. And I downloaded your book and read it, and it made sense to me. And I did give it the 5 stars over at Amazon.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. And so I basically started on August 1st, the whole no sugar, no grains, just threw it all out. And there's a little backstory. I was in an auto accident back in April, which I suffered a concussion from. And
wow, sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I've had some, pretty difficult effects from the concussion, but one of the things my neurologist told me immediately was to cut out sugar and caffeine from my diet because the way it affects the brain. And so something about what you were saying just totally hit the mark, and it made perfect sense to me. So I immediately, and ironically, I've been a vegetarian vegan for the last 10 years. And I immediately stopped that and started eating meat,
yeah.
Which was really bizarre to me, but it just all came together and made sense to me,
Well, isn't it amazing? Like a lot of times I'll talk to people who become vegans or paleo or any kind of way. And it's amazing how, you are kind of not the exception, but the rule. Hey, I didn't touch meat for 10 years. I mean, that's when you consider all the different ways you could get meat, there's chicken, there's shrimp, there's fish, there's red meat, there's pork, there's, on and on, turkey, all kinds of different things. And you were able to bypass that for 10 years. And then just with the switch of a thought, just like the switch of the thought happened 10 years ago, you just flipped the switch again and went, okay, now I shall eat meat. Think about, when I go to Amazon to buy something, I spend a longer time buying shoelaces on Amazon. I am not kidding than that. Isn't that weird, right? Have you ever thought of that?
It's bizarre to me, and more bizarre to me than it is my own family, who is like thinking I'm whacked out of my head, and maybe the concussion did something to me. But it just, I didn't have a lot of problems, with not eating meat or anything like that. But I've got to say, I did feel tired. I did feel sluggish. I felt run down a lot, and I just thought, well, I'm overworked. I didn't really think it had anything to do with my diet. And I've always been interested in learning about nutrition. I read and I read and I read, and it's so convoluted out there and conflicting. And I'm a label reader. So I've always tried to eat healthy. And I managed to stay at a decent weight right up until menopause a couple of years ago when it just hit me, and then all of a sudden I packed on the pounds, and I'm like, I didn't know what the hell was happening.
So,
and nothing worked after that.
All right. So now you're in menopause. Can you tell me how old you are?
I'm 50.
Okay. So you're 50 years old. You're through menopause, and
Yes.
you are. Can you tell us your height, your weight, all that kind of stuff?
I'm 5'3", and my current weight is 160.
Okay, so you have a few pounds to lose. You're not morbidly obese,
Yeah.
but you got some weight to lose.
Yeah, my regular weight, I would hover between 128 is kind of thin for me, but
Right.
so I felt good about 130, between 130 135, and I had no problem, maintaining that weight for years. And
Okay, so
and then all of a
let's
sudden-
call it, for you to be happy, 25 pounds need to be gone.
right.
Is that
for
about
sure.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm taking what you want. You want to be 135, and you started in NSNG. Well, if you start on August 1st, we're taping this on the 24th, so let's call it 24 days.
Right.
And what has been your experience so far?
My experience so far, I feel like I feel somewhat a thinning in my midsection, and like I'm losing a little bit of inches, and also in my arms, but I have not lost 1 pound. So I don't know if I'm hallucinating or maybe wishful thinking or whatever, but I do feel that visceral fat is kind of shrinking.
Well, let me ask you this. Are your clothes fitting looser around the waist, or, do you see your T-shirts, with a little extra room in the sleeves? Any kind of telltales?
The telltale for me is because I do a lot of driving and commuting. So when I'm sitting in my seat and my seat belt, there's just not quite big as of a bulge as there usually is.
Got it.
It's not enough to where, I'm it's not like an inch or something like that. I mean, it's probably minor, but I do see it as when I sit down.
Okay. So, a couple of things. Usually when people are hardcore vegans for that long and they start doing something like this, it's almost like their body is going, oh my God, she's feeding us, the muscles, everything. Grab what you can. We're getting, hey guys, look, there's creatine available. Our red blood cells, oh my God, everything is good. It's like your body is coming around. That happens quite often. But I'm not going to leave it at that. You and I think you said you wanted to do a consult also, right? One of my...
Yes, yeah.
All right. And, we will do that, and that's where we're going to go through it. But we need to help the audience out here. So give me an idea of how you're eating now that you're in SNG, and not so much what you had today, Christy, but give me an idea of what you eat pretty much on a daily basis.
Like a meal, like my daily routine?
Give me breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, coffee, wine, heroin, marijuana, everything you do. I want to know it all.
Okay, so essentially what I've started with is I have 2 eggs in the morning with a Italian sausage that has no sugar added, or 0 sugars, but it has very little sugar added in the cure or something like that. And I drink a 24-ounce cup of tea, loose tea, Earl Grey, and I add a tablespoon of coconut oil to that. So I drink that tea throughout the day, and I keep refilling the water, so I drink about 4 of those a day.
But you only put the coconut oil the one time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, breakfast time.
Okay.
Yeah. And then lunch is usually, because I'm out in the field a lot, so I have snacks. I'll usually have a handful of almonds, a string cheese, not a string cheese, a cheddar cheese, Wisconsin cheddar cheese stick, and then a half an avocado, a dill pickle, and that kind of tides me over until I get home from dinner. I do find that I'm not as hungry as I was when I was vegan because I'd have to grub all day long, like graze, like a cow.
Yeah. Yeah. Cows are vegan, and cows and horses are vegan, and they have to eat all day long. They eat while they're crapping. That's how much eating they have to do.
Well, I didn't go that far, but it felt like it. And dinner usually would consist of I'll make some sort of protein like a steak or chicken, a shish kebab with some bell peppers and onions, and steamed broccoli or cauliflower. And then after dinner, like, I might have some about a half a cup of berries with some whipped cream, like just heavy whipping cream whipped into cream.
Okay.
Like, I think we had that conversation on Twitter.
I remember. Yeah.
About 3/4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's a typical day.
Any alcohol? Anything like that? Wine?
No, I don't drink. I do track. I have been tracking the meal on, my stuff on fitness app to try to make sure that I'm not eating more than 50 grams of carbs. It's kind of like 70% fat, 20% protein, 10% carbs with no more than 50 carbs a day. Okay. So just to get an idea, because I'm so new to this, and before I was restricting calories to like $1,200-$1,400 a day, dollars. See where my mind is. Yeah. But 1,400 calories a day, somewhere in that neighborhood.
And where are you now on the total calories per day?
Oh, geez, like between 1,800 and 2,000.
Okay, I want to take note of that for other people listening. You're eating more. You're never hungry, right? I'm guessing you're never hungry in between meals. You're eating way more calories, and you're not gaining weight. So right there, you are winning. You're winning the game. Right. Right? So yeah. All we have to do is...
women... I'm sorry.
Go on. Women.
I said, women, we want instant results when it comes to weight loss. And it's really hard to wrap your brain around eating 2,000 calories and I'm not gaining. And I know that's a winning situation because I'm not gaining. Because even when I was eating 1,400 calories a day and watching everything that went into my mouth, I gained 2 pounds at the end of the week. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. Yeah. So you see, you're actually winning, and you are right. Women, from the time you guys are 5 years old, you're inundated with looking thin and beautiful and watching what you eat and restricting. It's a horrible life. It's a prison that basically American women, Western women, it's a prison you guys live in of, oh my God, you spend a lifetime doing crazy, wacky shit. And it pretty much starts with your mom saying, oh, look, I'm fat. And you look at your mom and you go, well, fuck, if that bitch is fat, I must be a house, right? I mean, has that ever happened to you? Right. And and then you guys, you're watching ads on TV and they hand you a Barbie doll and, well, geez, I don't look like this thing, and so on and so forth. And before you know it, by the time you're 9 or 10, you guys are, cutting calories and doing all kinds of stuff. And by the time you're 50, you're talking to this wop on a podcast and you're going, well, geez, I'm not losing as fast as I want to. Life is not a game. Life is what we live, right? And you can't sit there and go, well, geez, I'm on NSNG. I hate when people go, I'm doing NSNG, or I'm on the NSNG, or I'm doing the NSNG thing. This is all I'm asking people to do, even though I own the term NSNG. I'm not asking, I don't get paid by you guys being on NSNG. All I care about is that people are losing weight. This is basically a free service. Of course, people have to pay for my book or pay to talk to me because my time is worth something. But basically, you don't have to buy in like you would buy into any other diet, because all I'm doing is telling people how to lose weight the correct way. For you, and we could talk more about this when you do your consult, because I like to keep these to 15 minutes and we're there already, is, if you just cut back a little bit for a while, maybe not have the berries every night, have them only on the weekends, the berries and cream at night. Instead of having a sausage with the eggs in the morning, you might find that at first you probably thought, oh, I need this much food so that I don't get hungry. You might be surprised that having 2 eggs, since you do have that coconut oil, that MCT oil in your tea all day, that your body has enough fat to run on with that. And it's going to, you're going to give your other fat. See, you're living on the fat that you're taking in. So if you just cut back a little bit on what you're doing, you're going to notice that your body will start burning some of its subcutaneous fat, right?
Okay.
So you figured out half of it. And by the way, you're doing exactly what I tell people to do. I always have people overeat with the fat at first and then crack back a little bit after you're not scared, after you don't feel like you got to be on that tight wire with a net, so to speak. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. I do want to say the one thing I think has been really important to me with switching over to no sugar, no grains, because with the result of my concussion, and I've had the kind of a foggy brain, and right. I got to tell you, since I did switch over, I sleep like a freaking rock right now, which I haven't had good sleep and I don't even know how long. And my brain, it's like I do a fitness brain test, throughout every day. My neurologist told me to do, and it's actually improving now, where I was pretty stagnant for the last, I had the accident in April, so it's been pretty level, and now I'm actually improving. So there's something to be said with what's going on.
Listen, I hear that all the time.
Diet.
I hear it all the time. I also, with that product we make, the broad spectrum magnesium that I have at my company, purevitaminclub.com, that will help you sleep even deeper. Have you tried that yet?
No, I'm on my way. I've been making the grand tour, with the Villa Capelli, and I got Anna's book, and I'm booking the consult, and I was on the website for the Pure Vitamins and checking them out, and so I'm on my way.
It's literally, we sell the world's best vitamins at the world's cheapest. You can't get. Number one, no one makes the vitamins the quality that we're making them. I'm not just saying that because I make them. That's what I set out to do. And then I basically cut out the middleman by selling them myself so that I could sell them, I could get them to everyone else at a wholesale price. And that's kind of how we do it.
It's perfect. I checked it out and compared them with other vitamins and ingredient lists. And absolutely, I'm totally on board with that. It's just,
And, we don't have any, titanium dioxide or any other crap. Hang on just a second, Christy. I want to say goodbye to you off the air, folks. Oh, by the way, Christy, you live somewhere near Irvine. Are you going to be at my show on October 27th?
I actually just heard right now because I've been catching up on past podcasts. So, yes, I would absolutely love to go. I will be there.
Or you have a husband, boyfriend? What do you got?
I have a husband.
Get 2 tickets.
No boyfriend.
You and the 3 tickets. You, the husband, and the boyfriend. You said you had a boyfriend too. Get all 3 a ticket. Bring them all out to the Irvine Improv. It's a love fest. Come on down. I'll get to meet you there. If you want to do the complete Vinnie tour, you got to get the book, Anna's book, Villa Capelli, and the vitamins, and come down to the Irvine Improv, folks, on October 27th. You can see Kristi STELLE. She'll be there with her husband and her boyfriend. It's going to be quite the show. I think I'm going to bring the boyfriend up on stage. So, yes, do that. Also, you heard her. She's got Anna's book, Get, Eat, Happy. I tell people to get it both ways. Get it both ways. Yeah, look at me getting all sexy. Get it with... the Kindle, that kind of thing, get that version of it. And then also get the hard copy. You'll have one of each. Christmas is coming up soon at some point. Get some books for everyone else. Villa Capelli, she talked about that. Amazon, folks, listen, everyone shop. Christy, you shop on Amazon?
I do, and I shop through your link at VinnieTortorich.com.
Did you bookmark it? You go to it every time? Bam, bada bing, bada boom?
I go to it since I came across your webpage every time.
You know what? I just got a little bit of an erection. Do not tell your husband or your boyfriend about that. That is wrong. That is wrong. I am very ashamed of myself right now. Yeah. Folks, do all that. And all I want to say to you at this point is, on behalf of Christie, STELLE, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with enthusiasm.
Check out more podcast episodes on iTunes. Follow Vinnie and Anna on Twitter or contact us with your fitness questions at VinnieTortorich.com.